Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. Today is my college football special. It's about a legend that played in the SWAC at Mississippi Valley State, Willie Totten. So if you like the video today, please come in and share it. And I'm your host, Vincent Turner. When you talk about great football players, man, and you talk about them performing at a high level, this is one gentleman that today I'm explaining to the world why he was special. See, right now, we got the National Football League going on. And we got the great passers in the game in Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford. Everybody's throwing for 400 yards. Then you look at the history of football from college to the National Football League. You had Dan Marino back in the mid-'80s, throwing for a lot of yards. You had Peyton Manning, Phillip Rivers. And then even on the college level, you had the great run and shoot at Houston that was throwing for a lot of yards, had Andre Ware and David Klingler. Then you had Portland State with Mouse Davis, Neil Lomax. But let me tell you something. Willie Totten was special at Mississippi Valley State. And he had a nickname, the Satellite. Born July 4th, 1962. And it's really, as I look at him, it's why he never really got a shot in the National Football League. Granted, he played Division II football, but hey, this what really sticks in my mind. He was in the offense at Mississippi Valley State. That's what you see today. No backs in the backfield. 4 wide receivers on one side of the field, only one on the other side of the field. And when Mr. Totten was throwing the football in college, the other receiver was Jerry Rice. And think about this. He was throwing to a guy who ended up, arguably, the best football player pound for pound in NFL history. Jerry Rice. The numbers of Jerry Rice. 1,549 receptions, 22,895 yards, and 197 touchdowns. And this guy right here was the guy that ran the offense. And kudos to, I consider, one of the greatest coaches that ever coached college football on any level before I get into Mr. Totten. We could talk about Nick Saban. Granted, he deserves that royalty. We could talk about Bear Bryant, Johnny Majors, Joe Paterno, John McKay at USC, Bear Switzer at Oklahoma. But today I'm going to give Archie the Gunslinger Cooley his kudos. He ran a no-huddle offense, and what did it do? It produced the greatest player pound for pound in the National Football League in Jerry Rice. And this gentleman right here ran the show. Mr. Totten came to Mississippi Valley State as a punter that averaged 45 yards a punt. Never played the quarterback position. And think about what Coach Cooley saw in him. He said, hey, why not I try my new offense with this young man? And he said what really brought him to this kid, the hands. He had hands like Godzilla. And all I got to say, it was something to see. See, I saw this firsthand. In the greatest college black football game that's ever been played, November the 4th, 1984, 63,808 fans in Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium. The game of the century against Alcorn State. And I saw this offense that Mr. Archie the Gunslinger Cooley had orchestrated and Mr. Willie Totten was throwing, and it was something to see. Go look at the film. You can pull it up on YouTube. But Mr. Totten can really throw that football, man. 1984, his senior year, Mississippi Valley averaged 59 points a game. That year, he threw 58 touchdowns, 4,500 yards. He set more 50 NCAA Division II records that year. SWAC Player of the Year. First team All-American Division II. At the time, Division II all-time leader in passing yardage. 12,711 yards at the time. Led the nation in passing efficiency. College Football Hall of Fame. Ended his career 13,120 yards and 145 touchdowns. Man, he was special. One more can I say? In that year to open the 84 season, that brought all the national media to that little town in Enabina, Mississippi, was how him and Jerry Rice started the season. That year, beat Kentucky State 86-0. Came back, beat Washburn 77-0. That year played Southern Down University and beat them 63-45. In my opinion, everybody knows that I'm a big Eldridge Dickey fan that played at Tennessee State. I know Doug Williams did his thing at Grambling. I know James Shack Harris did his thing at Grambling. But when it's all said and done, for my money, Willie Totten is the best black quarterback that played in the SWAC at any level on black college football HBCU. You talking about greatness? Willie Totten was special. And Mr. Totten, I want to say, man, I love you for that, what you did in Mississippi Valley State and that offense. Because now, when you look on any level, where it's college, where it's the National Football League, I'm watching the Georgia-Michigan Orange Bowl game last Friday night, and I see Georgia go to a no-back offense. And Stetson Bennett is under the center, and it deviated from Mississippi Valley State, from Archie Gunsinger Cooley, who had this young man running the show, Willie Totten. No huddle, 4 or 5 receiver set. That's why the young man was nicknamed the Satellite. And the most important thing that we need to take from is that it's a shame this young man didn't get a shot in the National Football League. Because if he would have came along now, we might not have heard of Patrick Mahomes. We might not have heard of Matthew Stafford. We might not have heard of Peyton Manning. We might not have heard of the GOAT Tom Brady when it comes to setting records. This guy could really throw the football, man. And the honor I have and the blessings I have, you see that right there? He's a Phi Beta Sigma, January the 9th, 1914, Howard University. I'm proud of you, brother, of the blue and white. And as I always told you, it's something special in the water in the state of Mississippi. And one other thing, even though Mr. Totten didn't play in the National Football League, had a couple of stints with the Canadian League, got a couple of shots in the National Football League. But the one thing he did after he finished, he went back and got his master's degree from Grambling State University. Unbelievable, man. But getting back to something about the water in Mississippi. See, when you have ties from the state of Mississippi, people in Mississippi, they have a different mindset. They're about that life. They're about that business. And they're about that hard work. Because Mississippi is a state, it's flat, man. Red clay. It gets hot. It gets muggy. And think about all the great people that came out of there and it's performing at a high level. William Faulkner, Elvis Presley, Richard Wright, the greatest actor of all time to me, James Earl Jones, Morgan Freeman, B.B. King, Faith Hill, Jimmy Buffett, Conway Twitty, Jerry Rice, Walter Payton, Archie Manning, Sam Cooke, Brent Favre, and Steve McNair. Today I'm putting Willie Totten on that list of the greatest people. There's some in the water out of Mississippi. And then a special thanks about the people in Mississippi. I'm 61 years old, and I've been raised by two great parents. My mother, Inez, and my father, Chester. And they out of the great state of Mississippi. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be the man I am and doing this on a platform as of 100 yards of football. That's what it's all about. Kudos to my frat brother, Phi Beta Sigma, Blue and White, Go Mob, Mr. Willie Totten. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure to talk about your story for 11 minutes today. So if you like the video, please come in and share it. I'm Vincent Turner, and special thanks to my producer who's made it happen this morning. You're going to know him as a legend, Mr. Logan Landers. Thank you, and be blessed today. 100 yards of football.